Hi, and welcome to L10's Election Special. I'm Caroline Bednar, the anchor and Executive Director of Production for L10's 8th Board. I am joined on the Executive Board by Federica Sahabian and Whit Phillips. This week's show will be dedicated to two interviews, one with Head of School Murray and one with your new student body president.
The CDC has recently changed their guidelines for high schoolers in classrooms and decreased social distancing to 3 feet. And so does Lawrenceville plan to make any changes to address this new recommendation?
So we're looking carefully at that. My understanding right now is based on the classroom size of most of our classrooms, it probably wouldn't make a huge difference. Like we still actually, to put 14 people plus a teacher back in, a lot of our smaller classrooms probably wouldn't be possible under any circumstances. And I think I understand from Dr. Kraut that the guidelines for contact tracing to figure out if you've been exposed are still saying within 6 feet. And so I think for the time being, it's kind of moot, but we're looking at it. And as vaccination levels go up, it could be a major factor for us for next fall.
With the vaccinations coming out rapidly, it's looking pretty promising for some sort of reopening in our future. So is there any sort of timeline in place for the reopening of campus, of in-person classes?
The single most important factor is the degree of vaccination within the community. Like that, I think to me, everything hinges on that. So for example, we've been discussing what would it take to get to 100% vaccinated in the adult population? What would it take to get to 50% or even better, 75% in the student population? Especially given that students are a relatively lower risk group, but that level of vaccination, a vaccination in that range would have a huge impact on life in the classroom, like a return to normal, like full in-person, maybe even, maskless if we truly got, a high level of vaccination. That's what will need to be in place for us to get back to a more normal, like let's go have a dance in KAC. I'm not saying we can't do it in the fall. We may get close to that, but it may be that, for example, having a social event outside, in the bowl or something that doesn't have us all, in our own little square dancing by ourselves, but at least is outside and, gets closer to a normal social event.
Sounds great. So now I'm going to shift focus to another important event coming up, the election, the presidential election. So my first question about that is, what do you think the role of the student body president will be in this coming year, coming off of this unique year of some virtual classes and hybrid? And so how do you think the role has shifted, and how do you think the role is going to stay the same?
First of all, let me say that with Delaney and Annie, I think we have two awesome choices. We can't lose. A really important piece is going to be to help us transition forward to what I would call like a post or relatively post-COVID state of affairs. So some of the challenges with COVID, associated with COVID will be with us next fall, but we should be able to put some of that behind us. So we need to get back to normal school issues, kind of a more normal social life, less focus on COVID, more focus on just the joy of being together and appreciating our time on campus. So I think student council can play a huge role in that. And so we would really look to them to kind of help us with that kind of return to a more normal state of affairs.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Murray. Following yesterday's presidential debate, Lawrenceans have voted for their student body president for the 2021-2022 school year. Now, L10 brings you an exclusive interview with your new student body president. So Andy, congratulations. How are you feeling right now? Any plans to celebrate, anything like that?
Thank you. I think it's gonna be a chill night. I'm just gonna, after the news comes out, I'll probably go back to Kirby, spend some time with the house, and then spend some time with friends and go home, see my parents and celebrate with them.
Yeah, sounds like a great night. So what will be your first order of business as president?
Well, I'm gonna start working on my orientation program, I think pretty soon, because one of my biggest goals next year is to rediscover Lawrenceville, as I said on my platform. And I think that starts with kind of showing the people, the RLO students and the freshmen, really the Lawrenceville I know and love. And that starts with the basic things like, the Josh and campus stores. So that's probably the first order of business.
So you're obviously known as like a very spirited person around campus. And you talk about in your platform how you want to implement measures to increase school spirit. So what will this revamp of spirit look like?
I think honestly, it starts with the president and the student council and then trickles down through the seniors and then to the rest of the student body, especially because we're coming in such a weird year where only the seniors will really have had a full year at Lawrenceville. I think the seniors not only have they have a responsibility to really uphold the spirit around some of our favorite events on campus. And I think, so again, starts with the seniors just to get excited and pop out to sports, pop out to Splash, little things like that are gonna be really important next year.
So being president, you're kind of put in a position of power that some students may find a little intimidating. So how do you plan to make yourself accessible to the student body, especially given the limiting nature of the BFA system?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just honestly like being seen, making that, reaching out, saying that hi, sitting in the bathhouse, going to random sports events, being seen around campus and just being a presence while not being an overwhelming presence. I'm not going to be, standing on a pedestal everywhere I go. I just think I'm going to be one of the students, one of the people, if you will.
Yeah. So in your campaign, you've shown an obvious, very deep love and dedication to the school. So what is your favorite part of Lawrenceville?
It's going to be a basic answer, but it's the people. I mean, the people here are just so incredibly smart, fun, and interesting, and that everyone here has something to offer in terms of getting to know, and I think everyone is just genuinely worth getting to know. And that's probably my favorite part of Lawrenceville, just the people and what they bring to this campus and the energy on this campus.
And so obviously this is your first appearance as school president. So do you have anything you would like to say to the community, any comment?
I would just say I'm really excited to get started. I think we have a great year ahead of us, coming out of one that wasn't the best, and I think we have a lot of potential to make next year just an incredible year, and I'm really excited to get that started.
Sounds great.
I'd also just like to say that Delaney is an absolutely incredible person and one of my favorite people on this campus, and she has proven time and time again that she would have done an incredible job, and I just want to say that thank you to her for pushing me to be a better candidate, because she really just killed it.
Congratulations again, Annie. That's all for this week's show. If you think you'd be interested in joining L10's team, please fill out the application we sent you via email at the end of last week. We'd love to have you as a part of our board. As always, if you have a story to tell, let us know by email or stop by our office in the basement of Pop Hall. From all of us here at L10, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.